We're back with another episode of Mark Learns in Public.
Yeah, is that the name now? We just keep changing the name every time.
This is why I'm terrible at SEO. Welcome back. Let's talk about stuff. You have been, since the last time we talked, you made that shift over to, I saw a headline, this is the final time I'm doing a short, but not really. It's just clickbait.
Yeah, had to get the boys clicking. Yeah, that was the last short on my main channel because I have Mark Szymanski as like my main operation there on YouTube, and I have realized that I've had that channel for, I don't know, 6 years more, I don't know, and I've just put like a ton of different content on there. I started me driving to my job in my car and just talking about things, and all the videos are public because I went through a phase where I hid them all, and then I was like, no, I'm not going to do that because there's a lot of like interesting stuff that's on there, regardless if people watch it or not. It's like, it's history. So I've gone through different phases. Most recent one, obviously, though, is WordPress, business, etc. And I'm going to just be more curated with the content on that channel because there's been a couple times where I've put like random things on there about like what I'm thinking and going through. And I'm like, if I'm treating this more like an actual, to some degree, like a business or a lead gen thing or anything, it can't be like that. I need to do that on a second channel. So yeah, that was the final short on the main channel, my daily shorts, but I continued that immediately over on the second channel and kind of my social media, but I've changed my mind a little bit on that since then. So I'll still do shorts on the main channel, but it's got to be like in line with my helping entrepreneurs and agencies build smarter systems with WordPress, AI, and automation. So,
and you're feeling comfortable with that so far? It's been going well.
Yeah, I mean, I think at the core of it, the things that come the most naturally to me with that channel are just showing people how to build websites, showing people how to market their stuff better. I really am like the dynamic data guy of WordPress. I'm not saying I'm the best ever, but I'm one of the top ones. I feel like I just really understand it.
You actually think you're better than Brendan O'Connell?
Brendan is a killer. Yeah. And he's back. He's back. You guys should go watch his new video. But yeah, I mean, I just enjoy, I don't know why, I just enjoy that part. The templating, the kind of thinking about how everything connects in that regard. And I think people have seen that from me as well. They understand that that's a big thing that I am good at and I like doing. So just from all that, that's kind of like what a lot of the content has been over the past couple years. And that's what comes naturally. So it'll expand more than that. I really do feel like I'm under leveraging the AI and automation type stuff, but I don't know. I just cannot get myself to force that. So, yeah.
You can't get yourself to force doing that content on repeat?
I've watched a lot of content about it. I've watched our, like Nick Sarayev and so many other people, your boy Greg Eisenberg. And, it's just, I don't like, I know that it's valuable, but it's one of those things that I know, and I could easily like do it, not at the level of those people because I haven't done it enough, but I understand it. It's just like, I really just struggle with, I feel like, examples of what to try and what to do. And I feel like so many of the people selling that are kind of like selling like lead gen systems and stuff and productized services in that regard, which I think it's doing great for them. But my mind is never in that realm of doing that. And I think like I'm slowly starting to move more into that space. I feel like of, I don't know, we could go down that whole rabbit hole of like what to sell sort of like in the differences. But yeah, I don't know. I've been dabbling, but we'll see how it continues to evolve. I use it heavily though. Like I'm constantly on ChatGPT now. Just as a sounding board, as a, not really like a content writer, but a content ideator. And
you feel like you're using it more now than you were, I don't know, a month or two ago when you were like, when you and I debated the use cases of AI?
I'm definitely using it more. And I'm actually using the voice mode less because the voice mode doesn't give you enough detail. So I'm like speaking into it, but I'm reading, which is rare for me. Yeah, it's been great. Here's how I feel about AI though. Like to concisely say it, I feel like I and us by extension in our realm of the world and like our sphere, right? We're ahead of AI. Like we're ahead of most people in terms of like how much we know about AI, how much we play around with it, etc. But I still feel like I'm underutilizing it because I personally, maybe you're further ahead than me, I'm not utilizing AI for anything more than like the prompting, basically. Like I'm not messing with agents yet. I'm not messing with vibe coding stuff. I'm not messing with like, I just saw they had like some sort of AI agent builder thing now. I'm not like doing that too much. Um, I'm not even really integrating it too much into my other aspects of my life. I know I'm just not like deep research, no. Even image creation and video creation, like the Sora thing, that seems super interesting, but I don't have an iPhone. So I'm not a sheep. So I don't I feel like I'm leaving a lot on the table for how into it I am, but I don't know. I feel like probably a lot of people feel that way.
They absolutely do. I think the last time we talked, I was talking about, if I ever got into like services again or something outside of WordPress, it would be about like AI and education. Also with like the stigma that I've missed the boat already, and I think anyone who's like training and educating around AI, have already shipped their stuff. That's just that nagging voice in the back of my head, which I agree with, and I also disagree with at the same time. Like there's plenty of room, and there's, it's all about optics and all this other stuff. I put out a question to my co-working group the other day via Slack, and I don't know, there's like co-working place, the place where I have my other studio, and I don't know, there's like 200 something ish people in that Slack, and I asked about that, like how are people using AI in their day-to-day in their business, and whether good, bad, like just like tell me how you're using it. And a lot of people said the same thing. It's like, I'm only using it for ideation and content creation. I don't let it do the whole thing for me. I revise it or whatever, and it just like sort of helps jog the memory. And I find myself asking these same questions about AI, like what is Sora 2? What is this for? Like, why are we still doubling down on stupid stuff with AI, which is graphics, video, content, audio, voice, like replicating voices. Okay, maybe not stupid, but it's just like, this is all to me just a wow, look what AI can do. It makes you sound and look like a human. Or look at this. Doesn't this look real to you? Doesn't this sound real to you? And I don't see, aside from coding, I don't see the usefulness here. Like, I still, as much as I've been using it, why is it not solving like the real world problems? Sam Altman put out a blog post about Sora, and I'm going to paraphrase here because, like I said before, I'm sick and tired of doing like the screen share stuff because it breaks things. But I'll paraphrase here. Let me just see if I can find this while I'm talking.
Define useful though, like your definition of useful.
Yeah. So, things that are actually solving complete end-to-end tasks for me, like in my day-to-day, it's only helping still, and I think I was saying this maybe a year ago I was saying it was doing like 10% of the work. Maybe now I'm saying it's doing 20, it's helping me with like 20% of the work. And it's just that argument. This is the same argument I think we're going to keep hearing year after year, which is, yeah, Matt, but look how it's like, look what it's doing now. It wasn't doing that a year ago, and a year from now, it's going to be even better. Okay. But I think at some point, that year from now is going to get better isn't a 10% leap. It becomes a 2% leap. And then a year from that, it's going to be a 0.5% leap in terms of like, what it can really do. Real world example, the other day, I was running a Gravity Forms webinar, which is just for customers. It only goes out to customers, the email, and sort of like a last minute webinar. Like we had a topic and then we changed it, and it was going to be like the support 101 for Gravity Forms. So the guy from the team, Chris, who's going to join me as the co-host, sent me a PDF of, or not even a PDF, just a list of all these topics that he wanted to talk about. So then I dropped that into Claude and turned it into a slideshow presentation. So Claude does really good at like artifacts and putting something, for lack of a better phrase, like aside while you build it. Whereas like ChatGPT does it like all in the thing. Anyway, so it built like this slide deck, and it was just like, yeah, it's whatever. It was kind of just like whatever. Like it was just text. I mean, all it was doing was like formatting stuff in HTML, and I could click next, you know, and it just wasn't like, this stuff is not amazing, and it's still not doing like anything that, you know, I could have copied and pasted his thing into Google Slides. It was to save me like 20 minutes, basically. And I was just like, okay, great. But this isn't like earth-shattering stuff. And when it comes to like content generation and ideas, I still feel like it was like, it still gives me stuff that I could have looked up myself. Here's another use case. So I try as much as I possibly can. There's another AI LLM called Manus. So I tried Manus. I heard a lot of like people saying like, oh, Manus does a lot more of this stuff, like creating documents, slideshows, websites. Like it's supposed to be like something that kind of codes and you kind of just talk to at the same time. Like the way I see it is like some kind of middle ground. So I was like, hey, do some research on YouTube to find, because this is what it's supposed to be good at. It's supposed to be good at the, let me go look at a website and get information for you. That's what I'm told. So it's like, okay, log in, Manus, go on YouTube and find WordPress channels or channels that I could partner as a WordPress agency. So find any channel that's like that's talking about WordPress agencies. If I were a WordPress agency, who would I want to partner with? So I'm kind of like seeing like, will it find the WP Minute through this? And who else like will it find? So not for me to partner, but the agency, because I wanted to see if it could find me in that and like what the range of things was. So it does all its thinking and, you know, it's doing all this research and it's like, oh, in order to search YouTube, I need a YouTube API key. Okay. Goes in it. I have to go and create, it prompts me how to go and create a Google API key for YouTube Studio or Google API Studio for a YouTube key, whatever. I bring it in. So it does all this search and it's like 30 minutes to build this thing. Cause it's like, it's building a Python script. It's building like an app in the background, not one that I'm interacting with, but one it's using itself through Python. Give it the API key. 30 minutes goes by. It spits out 3 freaking results. Right. And it's one of them is, I'm going to forget his name right now. He lives in Thailand. He has like 500,000 subscribers.
Darren Wilson.
And then like these two
Wilson.
other, these 2 other like obscure channels that I've never heard of. And I was like, okay, well, and it was just like the name and the YouTube channel description. I was like, okay, come back to me with formulate the results with subscriber count in a column and the title of their most previous video. Okay, so it goes and it thinks again, it comes back. Like any of this deep thinking is usually like 7 to 10 minutes or whatever. So I come back and it added like 2 more. And I was like, so now I go back to prompt it. Please find up to 50 YouTube channels. Like I need something deeper here. I mean, the results you just gave me for the amount of electricity and GPU power you just used to do that, I could have just done that research myself. And this whole experiment, like the 30 minutes to an hour I put in, I could have just searched for that stuff myself. Right? So then it comes back. It gives me a much bigger list after like one of my final prompts. It found the WP Minute. You know, it put everything in, but then it maxed out the API key. Right? So now it's like, oh, can't. We've maxed out the API key to Google. We can't search anymore. And then you start prompting, like trying to figure out like what's the limits of the API key. It's like, oh, it should be clear by now. It's been over 24 hours. And then you run the script again and it maxes out again. It's just like, I could just be building this somewhere else. Like I could be just searching for it myself. And this illustrates my point of all the energy, literally the literal energy and the money that goes into this stuff. Are we really solving problems here? Or is this just some loose form of automation? Like, it's not like a lot of stuff here is not really working. And by the way, can we just put this money towards like figuring out how to solve cancer instead? I don't give a shit about videos. That goes to my point, and I know I'm ranting here, about Sam Altman put out this blog post. Let me just see here. He puts out this blog post about Sora because Sora's just like, I don't need this. Like, what do I need video creation for, right? I know why. And this is why videos are like 10, 15 seconds long, because it just takes so much energy and power to make these things. So they're letting people do it because it's exciting and it's fascinating, and all the while this is all learning, but then they're going to ask for more money. So let me just see if I can just search for money in his blog post. So it's like, let me just see if I can find this. And it might have been in another blog post. It's all this stuff about ability to put yourself and your friends into a video. And it's like a TikTok clone. Like, who gives a shit about this stuff? Who gives a shit? Make something that's actually useful. Like, this stuff is not super useful yet. And I'll end it there.
Boy. All right. Is this where we want to go? Because I'll go here. I mean,
yeah, I mean, go here. I mean, go for it.
Planned. We never really have a plan. I mean, I empathize with like your thoughts and what you're saying, but I just don't really. I think that you say things like you say lines that I caught in there, and like who like basically the last one's like, who cares about the Sora thing? Well, a lot of people care about the Sora thing, you know. So I just don't know if I'd position it that way if I was gonna make an argument about it, because they like people care that you can make videos about yourself and your friends doing random shit, and like it is like it's kind of uncanny and weird and interesting. Yeah. Now, you make a decent point, like, is it useful? Well, again, that's why I asked you the question of useful, because is useful something that makes, to me, when I think of useful, I think of something either brings me joy or makes me money, kind of, or like moves like me forward. But obviously, then there's the altruistic stuff of like ending cancer. I think the one other thing, though, that's just another high level point is like, I kind of feel like, I don't think you think this, but I think the way that you talk about it sometimes is it kind of like, it at least makes me think that you think this. It's not magic. Like, is this shit is not doing anything that couldn't already be done. Like, it's not new technology necessarily. I mean, it's new technology in the way that it's being like created and like developed. Like AI is like new, I guess, in a way, but it's not. It's like, I asked when here's just personal. When I talk to ChatGPT and I'm talking about, hey, how can I like help, make my proposals better, or, word things this way or whatever. I am talking to this thing like it's like a business consultant that has years of experience, because that is exactly what it is. It has knowledge that I know other people have, and I would have just Googled for it. I would have like looked into it and I would have like figured out myself, but this is way faster because this has the whole thing and it has specific context of what I'm talking about. Now, I know that's just the prompting. That's not the video stuff. That's not the other things, but it is all like more or less recycled. It's not new thought from what I can say. And if it is new thought, it's not like pure new thought. It's almost like hallucinogenic thought extrapolated based off of the LLM, the model that it already has, the language that it already has, right? So it can't, at least right now, I mean, again, we'll see what happens in the future. It can't really think. Like, it can only pretend. I should watch iRobot again, because I feel like this is where we're headed. But it's like, it's just I can't remember. I feel like he did say it in there. Will Smith said it in there at some point. But it's like, it's just like an image of it's a reflection of what humanity and what language and what everything is. It's not like an actual new thing. Nothing about it is like original. Now, again, maybe Sam Altman and OpenAI are working on that and whatever. But to this point, yeah, I mean, so what I'm saying is like, you say like, how can it work towards like cancer research? I mean, the big example, I don't know how are we working towards cancer research? Do we already have the cure and bottled up somewhere. It's a conspiracy situation. But like, like how do we? I don't know. You ask the thing, how do you do cancer research? And then it's like, okay, well, it probably knows how to do cancer research. And then it's like, okay, can you go do some cancer research? And it's probably gonna be like, no, I can't do that. So, and I'm getting off on a slight tangent there, but my point is that it's not, I don't feel like it's anything new, and it's not magic. It's literally recycled. And that's why I've been looking at it like this has all of the knowledge of everyone. Instead of asking Matt and then asking so-and-so and then asking XYZ, like, why don't I just ask this thing? Because it has all the information that all these other people would potentially tell me.
Right. And all right, so let me just pull this. So this is from, what's the website here? blog.samaltman.com, Sora update number 1. I'm going to skip down to one of the closing paragraphs here. And this is obviously about Sora. Second, we are going to have to, this is Sam Altman. Second, we're going to have to somehow make money for video generation. People are generating much more than we expected per user, and a lot of videos are being generated for very small audiences. We're going to try sharing some of this revenue with right shoulders. I don't know what that word is. With right shoulders who want their character. Oh, I think it's supposed to be rights. Oh, rights holders. Maybe he missed a space. Rights holders who want their characters generated by users. The exact model will take some trial and error to figure out, but we plan to start very soon. Our hope is that the new kind of engagement is even more valuable than the revenue share, but of course we want to be to be valuable. Because earlier in this thing, at the top, he says, we will give rights holders more granular control over generation of characters, similar to opt-in models. So basically, when this thing launched, people could make all kinds of like, you could just make Marvel characters or whatever. It's the same stuff that happened when they shipped image generation. And then all of a sudden, like Disney was like, no, we're going to sue you if you allow people to make this stuff. And then that stopped, and they do the same thing with here. And it's just like, and now we have to make money from this. We have to figure out how to make money. Okay, hold on a second. OpenAI is valued at $500 billion, according to another LLM called Grok, right? NVIDIA just invested $100 billion in OpenAI, and you're telling me that you need to figure out how to make money with this video generating thing that people are just making AI slop with? This is the aggravating part, and this is the part where, to me, it starts to distract from the actual value of AI. So like in your case, you say, hey, this thing knows, it's got all this knowledge, so I can kind of like knock on its door and say, hey, you've got the knowledge of a business insider 30 plus years. Give me an analysis of my business. Here's what I'm trying to do. Like, improve that critical thinking about it. Otherwise, I just see ChatGPT trying to, and at least Sam Altman's vision, just going after literally every big company. Like they want to be, like they'll make their own social network based on AI generated shit. And you'll log in and you'll be like, entertain me. And it's just going to make all these videos, and you're, instead of like doom scrolling Twitter, you're going to like happy scroll OpenAI because it's just going to entertain you with like, look at this amazing golf shot. Look at this guy, pass a 85-yard pass for a touchdown. And it's all going to be fake. Like, I don't understand where they're going other than like trying to be the AI entertainment social network and search thing and just try to like take over all these big companies. Like, give me something valuable here.
Are you saying that though? Are you saying that you don't know where they're going because you don't agree with where they're going, or you actually don't understand why they're doing it?
I don't understand why anyone needs a AI generated TikTok clone, which is what Sora looks like.
People hate their lives. That's why people need that. So what I'm saying is that was the point of the question. Is like, why are they doing it? It's because obviously people doom scroll TikTok, and TikTok makes somebody money. Like there's somehow that's making money. You know what I mean? I don't know the exact economics of TikTok, but somebody's making money. People are putting stuff on there. People are on huge attention to the thing. And if you could just even cut out the creator part, then maybe you could make a lot of money with advertising or something. You know what I mean? Like, so that's why it's happening. But I'm in agreement with you. Like, I'm of the opinion that I don't want to be doom scrolling. I don't want to get sucked into that. But these are like larger world problems that now I think are being exacerbated by AI and like what is happening there. Because it's, when I look at like Sora, my part of my reaction is, it's twofold. One, okay, I make videos. Could somebody just literally think about what I'm going to make a video on, pop it into, not right now, but pop it into like Sora and then just make the video, even if it's without me? Like, could you still get the same information? Like, what's the, thing there? Obviously the counter argument is like, oh, you still need your personality. You still need all these things. But at some point I feel like that might be a little, replicatable to some degree with where we're headed with some of these things, especially if you're somebody even as small as I am, but has as much shit on the internet already. I'm sure that I could take all the my video, my audio, my any writing that I have, take that, drop that into into an LLM as like, the project, or like the basically the prompt, the knowledge base that I give it, and then it could create a duplicate me either now or very soon. And I'm just wondering like what that looks like later. And I think like it's either I let other people do that, or I see what the actual viability of me doing that is at some point. And I'm not even saying that I've tried this. I just, and like, it's not hard to see where this could potentially be headed. And I genuinely am a little black pilled on the idea that we're going to be able to stop that, because there's a lot. I don't want to sound like an asshole, but I will sound like an asshole. There's a lot of NPCs in the world, and they just consume and consume and consume. And because of that brings the opportunity of money to those platforms, from advertisers. Like, imagine just people, like, again, like just looking, doom scrolling, seeing all that stuff, just putting ads in front of them, that costs money. So that those things those bring in more revenue, and then it's just kind of a cycle. So I don't know how we get out of this. That's kind of dystopian to think about all that. But that's the way that I end up seeing that whole thing, even though there's a ton of productive, awesome things that like I could continue to be using it and stay ahead of all that. I just don't know really where that's going to end up.
Yeah. It's just like when I read statements like, "Oh, we didn't realize we were going to get this much traffic." How did you not realize that? That's why I read stuff like this, and to me it's you can't be this dumb. You can't be this dumb, that naive, and also be a cutting edge AI company, because aren't you asking AI what the hell is going to happen when you evaluate? Like, you have the leading, like, you have, what do you call it? At this point, they probably have ChatGPT 10 that they're already testing in-house, which will be released in 2 years. Like, don't you have the most recent version asking and running these scenarios through? If you're not doing it, why the hell would anyone else be doing it? How did you not make this assumption?
The only other thing that I don't know this, but the only other perspective that I would give you, or I would offer to you to think about, is, because I've been seeing this at a much smaller scale. I don't really know if I'm not super confident that the people that are like, when we look up the mountain and we see the people at the top of the mountain figuratively, I am not comfortable anymore with the idea of just assuming that they are so much more enlightened than you or I. Okay.
Right.
So like, I'm not like, so when you say like, oh, didn't they check ChatGPT? They got all these, there is a non-zero chance. I'm not saying this for certain. There's a non-zero chance that Sam Altman has no fucking idea what he's doing. Like, on the whole, you know what I mean? Like a series of luck, a series of potentially hard work. I don't know Sam Altman that well, but I'm just saying anybody in that instance, it's like work, like hard work, probably a lot of fucking luck, very likely, not just him, but just with anybody. Incredible timing. Like, the amount of people that I've seen have just like, they worked hard, but like the amount of luck especially in the case of in the variable of timing that got them to like fucking hockey stick level, whatever. I mean, unbelievable. The other thing is like cunning and deception, right? And like ripping people off, right? I love the story of the founder, but Ray Kroc kind of stole that shit from those guys in San Bernardino. Okay, if you never watched it, you got to watch the story of McDonald's. But my point is, like, all of those factors, it's not just like people are so much smarter and so much more, like, again, enlightened. There's like so many other variables that attribute to it. So I'm just saying that to say that like I don't know if it's always like a master plan and they know exactly what's going on and they should have checked all these different things. It's probably just like, hey, we got this video thing. Can you guys just push it out there and see what happens? So I think that's a little bit of it, possibly.
Yeah. I don't know. I just see. It almost seems like the ulterior motive is to just dominate Google. Is how I see all of this, because okay, so if you're trying to launch this video generator service called Sora, it kind of competes with the TikTok, Instagram experience. So that's TikTok and Facebook in your sites. And then OpenAI hasn't really done anything. Like, we're all just waiting for, we need to figure out how to make money with video, he says, with billions and billions of, like, the most valuable private company in the world right now. And that just means like, we're going to put in our new ad model, right? Because everybody's waiting to see what happens with sponsored content and ads, because once that unlocks, that becomes the cash cow that powered Google, has been powering Google for decades at this point. So to me, it's just like, what are we doing now? Are we using this stuff and building a consumer product? Are you trying to build it for all things now? You want to take over social, you want to take over video, you want to take over like productivity, like you're just trying to get everything because you're the one with all the attention and the money right now, which to me is just like, you're not focused on building the best AI, you're focused on building a consumer product. Like, he's trying to like turn into Google and Microsoft and Apple all at the same time because he's got the most money and the most attention right now. It's just aggravating.
I mean,
somebody who, let me just to set the record straight so that it's on record at 2:09 p.m. Eastern on October 7th, 2005. I think that there's value in what we have with AI right now as a productivity boost as it stands. But their own worst enemies in all of this stuff are these companies themselves, which I also published many months ago, that shit like this with Sora and we need money for video, but you got billions of dollars. They're the ones that are their own worst enemies to make this whole thing just like crash and burn again.
Okay. I mean, well, if we can kind of like rein it back in here, because that was a lot of, high level stuff on the AI. Let me ask, and let's have a conversation around much more like we talked about a lot of shit there that we more or less don't have any actual control over, right? And we're not Sam Altman, we're not in OpenAI, we're not whatever, and that is there because we like diving into that, but that's the reality of the situation. We don't really have any control. If we zoom out to the things that we do have control over, like, what do you actually want to do with AI? And I don't tell me specifically, but I'm thinking in my mind, there's two categories. It's like, I want to use AI to either make money or save time. And those are kind of related anyway, but make money or save time. So like, or save money, I guess, whatever, you know what I mean? But like, it's like to progress or to, like cut and make sure that you're, being more productive, more effective, whatever. So what are some of the things that you want to do with it that you have that fall into that bucket already that you have done, or things that you like, I really wish I could do this, but I don't really think it's there yet. I know we touched on it a little bit, but then like, those are the real things that people actually do care about hearing, because then obviously like they want to make money or they want to save time. And then we could have like deeper discussions on how to actually do those things. Cause that's the real bottleneck I feel right now. It's just a lot of smoke and mirrors, but there is some diamonds in there in the rough.
Okay. So to be fair, one thing that's been working fairly well with ChatGPT is my connector to Gmail. I have a connector to Gmail that I think, I don't know if I talked about this on the last episode, but I have my connector to Gmail, which I have it scan my inbox for my sponsorship opportunities for the WP Minute and effectively track emails that come in and remind me about emails that I've either responded to or people I've responded to see if I've closed the loop on that, right? In other words, have I sold them yet? If not, remind me about those folks, check for other stuff, and let me know. And it's been doing, so I just did that as a baby step, right? Just a baby step to see, where it's gone and how it reminds me every business day. And it does pretty good. And now my next step will be to write emails. Like now, if the person hasn't responded to me, write follow-up emails. Like do that stuff for me. Check in with me first and do that stuff for me. So like where I really, and so that's just a very tiny like sampling of where I want AI to go. I want AI to evaluate my to-do list, check my contacts, check my work, make sure everything has been either done or moved or scheduled. If not, prompt me on what needs to happen next, and get that product from a productivity standpoint. Like that's what I want. I want you to act like an assistant to me. And I just find it weird that so many people say that it can do that, but no one's dialing in that exact workflow, whereas where I see that being the most valuable. So it's also me going, what am I missing here? What am I missing here? Because, for example, if you want to create an image with ChatGPT, there's a little drop down, like when you go to create the image, and then it asks you what kind of style that you want it in, right? So that to me is like a preset, if you will. Like, users don't realize that if they just ask to make an image, it's the same shitty ChatGPT image that we already know. Like, this is a ChatGPT image you've made. We already know what that style looks like. If you've done it, you probably have that vision in your head already. But there's a preset that allows you to change what that style would look like. So I'm assuming the team did that because they were like, people don't realize that they could actually ask for a different style. So why don't they have a style in, why don't they have the response style? Like, why do we have to make better prompts when they should be giving us the prompt engineered to begin with? Like, for your case of asking it to think business critical, I don't know, have a whole prompt already made for, if you're asking a business question, you can choose from this person who spent 20 years at Harvard Business School and ran a offshore energy company. And like, that's the guy I want to talk to. Or here's another avatar. This person ran a WordPress agency for 20 years and, focused on the enterprise and started a company called 10up. Like, why aren't those things there yet that actually make this thing really impactful? Like, why are we still saying make a better prompt? It's weird to me that the system isn't already learning to do that to make it better. Which makes me feel like there's something off with like the real value of this. I don't know.
I guess I hear what you're saying with the prompt thing. But I don't know if I would. I guess I'm kind of confused on what OpenAI's. If we're just talking about like the ChatGPT interface as an example, I guess I'm kind of confused on what their role is. Like, do they keep indexing, for lack of a better term, like whatever the term is, like their large language model? They keep bringing things in. Do they have to do anything manually to make that happen? Because like that's a big deal. Like, if you don't have the information, then there's no way you're going to get a good answer, right? But from a prompting standpoint, like, I guess I understand what you're saying, but I feel like that's just not their. I don't know why they would put time and energy into doing that when you could easily have like a third party almost prepare that. And not to mention that the whole thing about this is that this, like what you just described there, is exactly what you should be telling the thing to do. You should be tuning. Like, I don't like if like, okay, you said somebody that's like ran an offshore energy thing for 30 years. It's like, I don't care about that fucking guy. I don't care
about that one.
I don't,
sure.
But so if for them to make it, they would have to make so many iterations, infinite iterations of what it is. When I could just say, hey, this is who I want to be, or this is what I want to do. This is who I want, literally an archetype of somebody that I want to literally, like, if I had a business coach, I want them to be exactly like this. I want you to be that person. And then I want to do that. Like, that's the reason people say get a better prompt, because then you're almost like, I don't know this for a fact, but it's like, imagine you have this whole language model. Then when you say that, you're like kind of like cutting it down, and the thing knows, okay, this is the based on this who I am in this is where I'm going to pull that information from, is just the stuff that aligns with that archetype or that avatar that they just told me I was. And that's kind of like a way to get that specific information. And then you're asking questions to pull from that sort of subsect of information. I don't know that's how it works, but it seems like it's how it works.
Yeah, I mean, you can prompt it for like that particular whatever business person experience, but is it enough? Like, is it enough to just like, how do you not know the exact prompt that you should be putting in? Telex actually does this, the WordPress AI builder, where you can just click a button and improve the prompt, right? So you might say, build me a block that shows an image, super vague, right? You can click the enhance prompt button, whatever it's called in Telex, and I assume it's just taking that and once again running it through AI to help build out a more verbose prompt so that it's got more details there.
I hear you. I don't mean to interrupt you, but the one thing I would say is, again, like, if we're using AI to get the information. It's like literally, it sounds like the where you want it to go with that methodology is literally, I don't have to do fucking anything to get what I want. That's kind of what it sounds like. It sounds like you want the thing to literally like spoon feed you everything, like spoon feed you the prompt, spoon feed you the information, tell you exactly what to do. And that seems pretty utopian and pretty cool. However, my thing is, like, I'm actually okay with where it's at now, where it's like, I know you have all this information, and I will try to extract it from you in a specific way. I'll even say to the thing sometimes, hey, listen, I got an interview coming up or whatever. I want you to one by one ask me questions so I can so you can ask me questions so I can give you answers, and then from those answers you can make like a write-up or like a bio or something for an event or something, like something like that, where it's like I'm having more of a conversation and I prompted it to do that. Now, you do have a good point though. A lot of people might not be, again, not trying to be disrespectful, they might not be like critically aware and thinkers enough to understand that you can do that. That's a real thing. I get that.
Right.
So maybe those prompts would kind of like enable them a little bit more to utilize it and like spark that. So I'm not against it in that opinion. I just would want to make sure that like it doesn't limit what you can do as well from a custom perspective, like a custom prompting and custom prompt engineering perspective would be one way that I would think about it. So I guess, that's in some ways that would definitely be helpful.
Yeah. I just also find it it gets to a point where it's not even though it says it's critically thinking, like I think half the time it's really not critically thinking. Like it's just spending more time, ingesting whatever information it already has. Like I feel like maybe when you search for something, it only checks, I don't know, I'm just pulling stuff out of thin air. I'm just saying like, we're only going to check 50% of our knowledge. If I say, well, critically think about it, so okay, we'll go up to 80% of the knowledge that, that we have, because I just feel like we're moving into an area where, and I've said this a million times already, but I just feel like we're moving in a direction where the improvements start to slow down, and we just start seeing shit like generated videos, and you hear the founder say we need to make more money. Like, it doesn't make sense to me how that stuff happens, all while like these things are supposed to be the most intelligent things that are replacing thousands and thousands of jobs. And that's like that's the area that I'm still, really, really just like, it makes it feel like things are not progressing in the direction that everyone's fantasizing about. Once again, like I just see this thing as being like, I don't know, like AI is just like this thing that is going to be a 30% boost on specific tasks, at least in the next 5 years. But a year ago, I said to myself, I could never figure out what's going to happen in 5 years. But now I feel like we're only going to be just a slight improvement in 5 years.
Are you talking though, like, see, this is where like it's one of those topics where I've never really had it happen in my professional career but it's one of those topics I feel like I can't even talk about this without getting into more like human psychology, evolution, philosophy, because it just goes there so quickly. When you say that it's going to be a 30% bump in productivity or whatever, are you saying that's like on average? Are you saying that's for like the max? Are you saying that's for everyone? Because like I know there's already people that are outliers, but they're making either a ton of money, they're saving a ton of time, they're doing whatever with the technology that we already have. So it's like, are you talking about like at the consumer level, the most or average ballpark is you're going to get a slight bump, but there's still going to be some other people that are just like blowing this thing out of the water and just like automating every aspect of everything and making a ton of money and saving a ton of time?
Yeah, I mean, I just don't see it as, I have a real worry about these people. Again, like I watch the Greg Eisenberg stuff, and I'm just like, you guys are all either like, maybe even in your point, like you say, I feel like it's got all the knowledge there, so I'm just going to ask it. I don't trust that. Like I inherently don't trust that it has all the knowledge of everything that I need to know, because I've been asking it questions, and it's just like, I already fucking know the answer to that. I need you to uncover something else for me. Like I need you to figure out something else. Like I already know the answer to these questions that I ask, like specifically on the business side. And I don't, so my thing is like, of those people that you see, like they're making all kinds of money because now it's all like productivity. Like, are they trusting the stuff that comes out on the other side? You would have to just trust everything. Like if you're like, oh, I'm a content guy, I make a bunch of content for people, and I'm just like, my productivity's through the roof and I'm making so much money now. Is that because you're just saying, hey, ChatGPT, make me a 1,000-word blog post, and you ship it and that's it and you go to the next thing? Because I don't know how you, one, trust all that content that came out, and two, will just ship that without spending the time. And that's where I feel like it starts to compress back down to that 30% efficiency. Those slides that I made, I could have never just said, okay, those slides are perfect. I spent another 20 minutes refining it in Claude, to the point where I was just like, I should have just freaking made this in Google Slides, copied and pasted the shit that he gave me, and I would have been done.
Is that an honest assessment of that specific situation? Like, do you actually think that it didn't save you any time?
No. It saved me. In that scenario, I can tell you it saved me 10, 15 minutes. And to me, that's 30%.
I think about the things that I've used it for, like, again, generating like proposals and so many different things like that. And like, obviously at this stage of the game, it's not perfect. I'm going to go in there and I'm going to edit things and do things, but the amount of time that it would have taken me elsewise to, without AI, to write that or go find before AI, what I would have done is I would have went to like, hey, show me a template from something, from a PandaDoc library or from some other sort of like, agreement thing online. And then I would have looked at that and I would have been like, I don't like this, I like this. And then like the amount of time that would have taken, it's definitely way faster, because it knows how to write, obviously. Okay. Whether you think it writes well or not, it knows how to write English. So when you give it enough information and enough context, maybe that's the other thing. There's so many variables here, but I'll just inject this one here real quick. Maybe I talk to this fucking thing like so much, and I give it so much context that my experience is not the same as like maybe yours or the average person. Like when my prompts are long. Like I turn that voice thing on and I talk to this thing. I talk to it like a human, and I talk to it like I'm giving it every bit of like critical information that I have, and then that compounds because it has all of the memory and it has all of my like specifics in there, and it knows what I'm doing because I just keep putting it in that same thing. So, I don't know if that's the same as you or what the case is there, but like I kind of forgot what the initial question was, where we went with that. But yeah, I mean, I feel like I give it like so much context that the stuff that it gives me is like, I look at it, I'm like, okay, that is kind of where I was headed. Maybe we need to refine a little bit, but I'm definitely on the right track. I'm directionally accurate.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it depends on everybody's different use cases, but I mean, like show notes for the podcast, show notes for this episode is going to be done with AI. Okay, great. I don't do that anymore. Amazing. Does anybody read it? I don't know.
Did they read it before?
Who knows? I mean, I don't know.
Well,
so it's just like, okay, on paper, I can write down 100% efficiency with show notes. So it's just like,
I just think you're super you're so underselling that. Like, I know that in a vacuum, like, nobody read it before, nobody read it now, but you don't have to fucking do it anymore. Like I wrote all these down when we were talking about earlier. Like, I don't write titles anymore. I mean, I edit titles, but I don't have to ideate really on them. I give context and I give transcripts, and then I have things like, imagine how much time I would have had to think, and say, so much time saved there. Video chapters, unbelievable amount of time saved there. Unbelievable. I can't even believe that I used to watch through videos and put video titles. But chapters.
These things, this thing is like, so that right there, I know that the audience, the one audience listener that's that's made it this far after all of this grandstanding is great. Wow, we don't have to do chapters and summaries anymore. Where's the big advancements? We're talking about tiny little shit. I need it to be end to end. I need it to
a word for this?
Write it, upload it, post it, share it, rinse, repeat. How is this stuff actually replacing? See, this is what I mean about when these companies replace people. Like, as a conversation with Jake on the podcast a few episodes, I don't know, many episodes ago at this point, where he's just like, yeah, marketing teams are going to get replaced by all this AI stuff. Actually, all I can see it doing is, yeah, we'll get rid of all these marketing people, and this one person will give you a ChatGPT account. So now you pull your hair out and you and you do the work of those 5 people. Now you just do it with AI. Go for it. And it's just like, well, wait a minute. Now you've just made my workload 5 times larger. And great, you gave me ChatGPT, but it's just going to spit out this vanilla shit that nobody's going to read. And then what? You're going to get mad at me because no one's tuning into this stuff because it's all vanilla shit? Like, what do you want me to do?
I don't follow pretty much anything you just said in the last minute there. Because you said that you had 5 people or 10 people working on it, and now there's 1 person working on it. But you left out the fact that in order to do those jobs, you left out the fact of all those time savings that we were just talking about. So I feel like that's like a little bit of a, I don't know, all the
no, it's not time saving. It's not
terms.
Time saving when you have to think for 5 people. Just because you have the AI, this is my point. It's not making you. It's okay, fine. It's making you efficient because, let's say these people were writing blog posts and doing social tweets and like coming up with marketing campaigns. Great. Now 1 person can do that in ChatGPT. Like, I don't think that's sufficient. I think that's scary. Because now you're just trusting ChatGPT to do this, and you think that that's right? You don't think there needs to be any more human intervention with that? We're just going to ship whatever this fucking thing gives us?
I don't know if we're at the stage to completely get rid of human intervention, but it's definitely, again, it's mostly trained off of human shit. Like, it's like humans wrote stuff and put that on the internet, and then the AI, right or wrong, went out there and got it. So it's like, if you trust humans, which this is the whole thing, it's like, for certain things, I'm not saying everything, but like, if you trust humans, then I don't understand why you don't at least trust AI with at least like most of the initial pass, and then put it through a human for the review. There is part of what I was saying. And I had another thought, and now it's escaping me when you're talking about your conversation earlier with the marketing thing. But I don't know. I just feel like it's, you said it's like you're never happy on this topic. I was trying to think.
You're absolutely right,
well,
Mark.
You're never happy. Might never be happy in general, but that's a different discussion.
That's correct.
For a different time.
Thank you.
I don't know what your maybe it's just cynicism is just what it is.
Yes.
But like with this, you're never happy with this, because I said that, like, I spend so much less time, like, even on aggregate, like on the whole, with these video chapters, and you're like, that's not enough. I need this thing to write it. I need it to film it. I need it to ship it. I need to do it all. But in the same breath, a minute earlier, you were like, I don't want it to do all that stuff because it's all going to be trash. So it's like, you want it to do all that.
No.
And
I mean,
I'm
talking about original content. I wouldn't want it to do all that stuff. I want it. This is my thing is, I don't see it improving right? So I don't see this improvement.
What does that even mean, though? Like, you don't see it improving over 5 years? Like, it hasn't improved at all over 5 years? Or you don't think in the future, you don't think it's going to continue to improve? Or you think it's going to improve so slowly that it's going to become negligible?
Like, I haven't seen that massive improvement up to now, right? What's the biggest thing in what's the biggest meme right now for writing content in ChatGPT? You get all these M dashes, right? So now people are like, okay, like, you see people on Twitter like, I can tell that this is all written by AI. People are like, oh, I can see people are writing their resumes with AI, and we're just immediately, discounting these people. So it's just like, okay, so when is this thing actually going to do things that people aren't already like seeing the signals and getting triggered about? Like, it's just not creating. It's not creating stuff that is like amazing and unique and original. I'm not saying I want it to. I'm just saying, like, everyone else is telling me it's going that direction, and I simply don't see it right now.
I mean, I don't know who I am to argue with you, because, you predict things 5 years ahead of you're on record saying, like, you predict things and then they actually happen. So if you were saying that you're not seeing it, then it might not happen at all. So I can't really argue with your track record on that. But
coding. I've been going back Claude Code. Pay $100 and something a month for Claude Code. I've been wrestling with this thing that is that I've been coding, and it just does not get it. It just does not get it. I thought I was using the best thing on the freaking internet right now for coding. Everyone's telling me, look at this benchmark, 4.5 just released. Oh,
does it say that it could do anything, though?
I mean, I'm talking about like security permissions on this app that I'm building. Simple security permissions. Super admin, manager, and regular user. 3 different tiers. And this thing will not get it right. And the app keeps crashing. I'm just kind of doing all these prompts and stuff. And you're like, well, you're not an engineer. You should learn how to code. I'm using the most advanced coding LLM in the freaking world right now to write me 3 simple permission layers, and the damn thing is not getting it right. I had to prompt it to, before we got on this call, take it all out, and I'm going to rebuild it again. And it's just like, man, like, we're so far off to like this completion of AI output that it doesn't make sense to me in my head that all these people are getting billions and billions and billions and trillions of dollars. And it's still like, yeah, what do? We make nice blog posts and freaking generated videos. That's what we're doing right now with all this money.
Man, this is tough. It's tough. I don't know how to articulate this. I like hear what you're saying.
I think you love this stuff. I think you love the output, and you're just like, hey, look at this thing. Look what it does. Great. This is it. It's knowledgeable.
Not really, because
like,
if I cared more about the output, then I would like probably produce more outputs. So I don't know if that's exactly like 1-to-1. Like, I barely used the image stuff. I haven't used the video stuff. It's really just been like knowledge, like better knowledge stuff, instead of Googling like I would have before. But like, the thing that I just don't understand is like, or just a different perspective, I feel like, on this. I just feel, and I don't know why, maybe you have a greater confidence in the average person or something. Like, you are trying to use that thing like a borderline 1%er. There's not a lot of people using Claude Code, like, when you look at the entire world, right? So it's like you're using like the best of the best that this thing has to offer at this moment, and you are extrapolating that out to think that, oh, this thing isn't going to, get as good as they say, or da-da-da-da, whatever. And there's a lot of bullshit hype for sure. But I'm saying, like, there are so many things below you, like below your skill level and below your experience level in this, that are like, that, again, I don't know, I guess you're not talking about making money from it, or like, the opportunity from it, but there's so many things underneath where you're at, where people are like literally, again, we've talked about this, on and off camera, like educating people on the AI stuff. I do believe there's a lot of opportunity there. There's so many people that like you and I, but even more so you, are further ahead than people. And there's a lot of opportunity to make money doing that, or to save people time, or save people energy. Bottom line, the average Joe Schmo does not give a fuck that it can't make 3 layers of security permissions right now. They can't even fathom, like, you can't write it apparently, by yourself, which is fine. I can't either, but they can't even fathom what the fuck that means. So it's like they would be so happy with just like knowing how to like prompt this fucking thing to make a better email to send to their goddamn boss. You know what I mean? So it's like, what I'm saying is, like, I appreciate your perspective because I'm in this with you, but it's so different and it's still going to get better. You're in the 1% class where like you're looking at it and it's like getting slightly better. But these people that don't know about this, they're like, oh my God, I can scan my face and jump out of a plane now and make a video on that. That's amazing. I'm not saying it's over. I'm not saying it's overly useful.
Right.
But it is something. So if your goal is completely altruistic and you think, is that going to solve cancer? Is that going to move us forward? Answer is probably no right now on most of that stuff. But if the answer is, can we use it? Can we make some more money so we could potentially like do more things, or we could potentially move the needle in some other way? The answer is definitely yes. So like, it really depends on what angle you're looking at. It seems like you're looking at it more from like, again, the worldly angle, which again, I agree with you there, but there are other angles to look at it. And I don't think that like, I just think because you're so deep in it that you're not going to see the progress because you're looking at it every single day. We'll find out. I'm sure we'll
Don't watch this episode. Don't watch this episode if you like AI. Will I continue to use it? Yeah, of course. Do I think it says game changing?
He's overhyped. He thinks it's overhyped.
I think it's overhyped. I think it's absolutely overhyped. And I the nail in the coffin is when one of the richest people in the world says we need more money for videos, and I'm just like, I don't how that makes sense with all the money that you've already received.
I don't.
It's just
what the fuck is he supposed to? What is he supposed to say? He has to say that. He has to.
Well, you know why he needs to say it is because I think because it's all smoke and mirrors. That's why. I
mean, I don't know, but I'm saying like, what is the most profitable private company in the world going to say when they launch a product like that? It's like, we have to make more money. I don't know how it works. I don't know if they have investors at all or how that works, but private, public doesn't matter. Like, it's business. Like, they're gonna say they have to make more money. Again, I'm not even saying I agree with it. I'm just saying, like, you're surprised that he's saying it, or are you're like disappointed that he's saying it?
I mean, I guess a little bit of both, because it's just like, yeah, I don't know. I'm just going to rehash the same shit I've already been saying, but when the dust settles, what we're all going to find out is all of this stuff is going to cost more. We're going to realize that we spent all this time and energy, figuratively and literally, on AI slop. And, in 5 years, it's going to be your OpenAI account is going to be $5,000 a month. And they're going to go, well, it's cheaper than hiring a real human. And you're going to go, yeah, I guess you're right. And then it's just like, wait a minute. Now we're spending the same amount we would have been paying, almost paying somebody. But now it's all just done with computers. It's just, I don't have the energy to explain that one either. But it's just like, it's like Netflix. Hey, 10 years ago, it was $8 a month. Now you're like $43 a month. And you're like, what the hell happened? What the hell happened? We're going to do the same thing with OpenAI. People are going to be like, look, I replaced a developer for $20 a month with my OpenAI Pro account. And then 5 years from now, it's going to be like, I'm spending $2,000 a month on my OpenAI account. And it's just like, well, do we have to replace the humans? I don't know.
Can't make money with Netflix, but yeah, I hear what you're saying. It's totally different.
WPminute.com/subscribe, mgs.bio.